Very pleased to welcome back to the show for the Big Fat Idea, Eamon Piercy, the author of The 1% Solution, How Small Daily Improvements Produce Massive Long-Term Results. Eamon, I love the book because it just gets right down to it and specifics about kind of a recipe like take action in this way. But one of the things that I've took away from it is how important it is, and I'm talking to any one of us, but this also, I'm specifically directing this at people graduating from high school or university, and the importance of building an entrepreneurial mindset, because I think that's the only way to get some sort of employment security in this kind of a changing economy. Are you there, Eamon?
Yep. Yeah. Hi. Hi, Mike. Yeah, we just went there blank for a second. Thanks very much for being back on the show. Really appreciate it. So last week we talked about the habits of building skills to help young people get into the workplace and to make a big impact. So this week on one of the habits I wanted to talk about was the importance of learning how to use those skills in the marketplace by understanding that failure is an important part of learning and to learn from each and every failure as you go through your career.
Well, elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure. Often when we're getting started, we think we have to be perfect, especially as a young person, and we think the world is built around all these skills that we have that people are going to embrace. The reality is to achieve big and important things over a lifetime, you have to constantly adapt to this changing environment. So as you pointed out, we're moving into an age of entrepreneurship, just with the example you gave with Amazon and Whole Foods there in a second. So it's really important for young people to understand that to build this adaptability skill, which is what's going to serve them best long term, an important part of that is trying something new, taking a risk, and if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of your career. It's just a chance to learn and do something differently for the next time. So that's a really critical habit for a young person entering into the workforce.
I couldn't agree more. Let me throw one other at you, and that is the perspective of time. You know, I think all too often, and it comes with those failures, we think that's the end of the world, as if our life ends there. But I think we have to rethink the time element, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So my next habit, and habit 29 of the book, is to think in terms of decades, not years. And again, for a young person, it may seem that they don't have a lot of resources, and they may feel disconnected from what else is happening in society, especially as it's changing. The important thing is they have one of the biggest advantages, which is time. So if they use that time strategically and they focus on, I'll give you a couple of very specific things that they can do. Number one is they can focus on those big, important strategic initiatives in their life, like getting an education, getting into the right industry that's on a long-term trend. If they focus on those, then they can leverage their time. And the second thing I recommend, I do this I do this myself.
Only got about 30 seconds here.
Yeah, I do this myself every day. So write down your goals and think about what does it take to achieve what you want to do over a long time and then get that compounding effect to work for you.
I think it's just great stuff. I really highly recommend the book, The 1% Solution. And by the way, half of the profits go to scholarships for, math and technology and all of that kind of stuff. It's available on Amazon.ca. Amazon.ca. It's The 1% Solution. Eamon Piercy. Eamon, thanks for the time.
Thanks very much, Mike.